Dire team.
Hello everybody, my name is CulBlu and I'm bringing you guys a Pinnacle Sports Pro AM Cup, sponsored by Pinnacle Sports Pro, sorry, Pinnacle Sports, my fault. Which is a betting website, you guys can go check that out if you're into that type of stuff. Of course, I'm not a betting man, because if I had to place a bet, I would not bet on me. Anywho, this game is, well, you can see Toby and all that stuff there, blah blah blah. But it's all about the cast that CulBlu does, because it's probably significantly worse than everything else you ever hear. But that aside, guys, we got Sigma.int versus Rox.Kis. This is game number 4 in their best of 5 series, and so far, from what I've seen in the last game and the end of the second game, Sigma have been dominating, kind of.
Remaining.
But Rox.Kis last game, they made a message, they made a statement. It was very important for them to do this. They said, "Hey, you guys can win a game. You guys might be able to win 2 in a row, but you will not just steamroll us." And Rox.Kis are able to pick up their first victory after losing 2 straight versus Sigma. And their strategy last game was actually kind of funny. They actually almost lost it towards the end versus Sigma, because Sigma are very great. From what I've seen so far, they're very great at adjusting to what they're facing. And long story short, for last game, Rox.Kis went for some crazy, awesome pseudo meta game or new meta game strategy type push meta, where they just 3 people bet Necro books, Necro level 3 on 3 people. That is ridiculous in its own sense. But 3 people bet Necro books. They had a prophet. They had both the prophets. They had Death Prophet and Nature's Prophet, and they eventually won the game. But Sigma adjusted very well. They built 4 Necro books of their own in response, and they built 3 BKBs on their 3 main people, which actually almost helped them come back to the game. But of course, their lineup wasn't that strong. They had a Marana for carry, and they had a Nick Assassin. They didn't have a lot. Elastrack, and it wasn't pretty. They did die a few too many times, of course. But all that said, we're in this game right now. Game number 4 of the best of 5 series. I'm eating carrots, if you're wondering, because what other food should I eat while I'm casting? Of course, carrots, right? The most obnoxious of them all. But as far as the bands go, we got an Alchemist band, an Elder Titan band on the side of Sigma. They just don't want to see them at all. I think Sigma actually picks up the Alchemist a few times because Paz loves playing his farming supports.
10 seconds
well, speaking of double, Paz will likely be playing that Crystal Maiden, so we can get some BKB Blink Dagger action going on in Aurelia for us. And the Elder Titan band, I mean, yeah, Return to Natural Order is just such a pain to deal with, especially for your carries, because usually your carries get a lot of their armor coming out from their agility that they gain if they're agility carry, because usually agility people are carries like Anti-Mage or Face the Void or Slark. But if you lose all your armor for free for no apparent reason, it's not really fun. It really sucks. And having an Elder Titan ban out makes a lot of sense. I'm going to set a Rox.Kis. They ban out the Invoker, they ban out the Puck, they ban out the Timbersaw. They saw the trouble of letting Sigma play their favorite hero, Invoker, and I do think he's a very big threat. I think Fada plays Invoker, and I think one series he got to play Invoker all 2 of the 3 times that they played. Got to play him both times, just destroyed everything. He built the Necro book, had a Quas Wax Invoker, of course. So not Quas Exo Invoker, of course, and just did a whole bunch of work. So having him banned out makes a lot of sense for Rox.Kis. Puck, not going to let them get a hand on top of that either. Timbersaw, very troublesome once he gets a Bloodstone. I do agree with that ban as well. Moving on to the side of Sigma's picks, they picked up the Crystal Maiden, they picked up the Nick Assassin. They're going to be sticking to their guns from what they had last game. Nick Assassin did do some decent work, but he is also really good at putting a lot of pressure on you. So we might be seeing some super heavy gank strat come up from Sigma. And guys, keep in mind that they are up by 1 in this best of 5 series, which means that they need to win just 1 more game
5 seconds
over
remaining
to claim their victory seat. So they do have room for more experimentation, but the Crystal Maiden does signify some early aggression. Nick Assassin, of course, a lot of aggression once he gets level 6. He can be anywhere on the map just by not being there. He can kill your carry easy all by themselves. He can do all kinds of work. It's going to be very scary, going to be very annoying, and he's on the map.
Dire team pick.
Moving on to the picks aside of Rox.Kis, they pick up the Bane, they pick up the Bristleback. It's going to be really cool and all, but guys, we see a Wisp pick up on Sigma. We just might see a tiny Wisp, and if we do, oh my gosh, I don't know if Rox.Kis will be able to defend against that for very long. To me, of all the combinations you can go for, CK Wisp, yes, CK Wisp is the most efficient one because they can take advantage of the fact that Tether does hit it, or sorry, CK does reality rift
seconds
to you,
remaining.
and he gets
10
behind you,
remaining.
which means that Tyler goes through you and hits, or if it's connected to
5
him, and
seconds.
this used to be a
5
stun, but now it's
seconds
slow. So it's a guaranteed tether hit, but also, and he could probably do a lot more
Reserve
damage
time.
as far as right clicks, raw right click skill once he gets those phantasm illusions. But if we're talking about ultra late game, guys, I'm sorry, I think Tiny still wins that fight. Between Craggy Exterior, his crazy damage that he can do to towers / buildings with an Aghanim Scepter, and also all the AoE cleave that he gets for free once he gets an Ag. Well, he paid 4,200 gold for it, but let's ignore that fact, guys. I think Tiny can carry a little bit harder than a CK, especially since Tiny has an AoE stun, which is a little bit better than a nice little single target stun. Although that means it can be juked a little bit, but yeah, anyway. So Tiny Wuss will likely be the pickup from Sigma. I do like that a lot more than CK Wuss, but we'll just have to wait and see. Moving on to Rox.Kis, they're thinking about the next pick. They have to think very hard because Wuss was allowed in the game. By Wuss being on the map, that puts a lot of pressure on these guys already. Nature's Prophet, I don't know if that's the best of choices, but he's going to be picked up. He'll probably be getting picked off a whole bunch, and there's a Tiny picked up for all the reasons I said before. I exasperated the point because, guys, it's an important point to make. I think Tiny Wuss can go a lot later than CK Wuss. I don't know the facts about it. Maybe CK gets some crazy extra free armor when he levels up, because Tiny has some crap armor. But even still, I think Tiny Wuss is a lot better than CK Wuss. My personal opinion, CK Wuss, yeah, it's cute. Does some nice little early mid game, but late game, Tiny Wuss all day. Anyway, enough of me talking about that. Enough of me riding your tails.
Remaining.
Let's go and talk about the bans on the side of Rox.Kis while we have some time, and also the bans on
5
Sigma.
seconds remaining.
They banned out the Abaddon, they banned out the Train Protector on Sigma side, and Train Protector did pose to be a big issue for them to deal with. They went for their massive BKB strat, which I've seen Sigma do once before, and it worked out perfectly fine last time. But last game that they had versus Rox.Kis, obviously they lost the game, or obviously Sigma lost the game. But last game they had, they all popped their BKBs, ready to go in for the fight. Train Protector popped an ulti, and they just stood still. Hilarious, I understand. Yes, I agree. So they're going to make sure he's not in this game, because they're going to be going for something similar to that this game by the looks of it. I think Sigma just loves their mass BKB strats. Maybe that's one of their core strategies. Because so far, people have struggled against it. I think Radical even struggled against it towards the end of that last game. Moving on to the pick, Radical do pick up a Visage, which is a very solid support to pick up. He can do all kinds of things. He can become your carry if you need him to become that, which I don't see often, but that means he gets a Desolator Maelstrom and just kills things with 3 right clicks. Sorry,
Radiant team ban.
Oh, right, Timbersaw on Clockwork, sorry. Clockwork, really good at initiating these fights. Really good at chasing down a Prophet. Prophet can try to TP out, Sprout TP out like he normally does, but Clockwork just casually rappels towards him and kills him. So, I do like seeing the Prophet, I do like seeing the Clockwork ban on the side of Rox.Kis. He will be a big issue, especially when you talk about Bane. Bane versus Clock, I think Clock wins that fight. In the grand scheme of things, Clockwork is a little bit more effective than Bane, because Bane, he just gets stunned a few times, he's out of his ulti. And boom, we got Beastmaster. Holy crap, Sigma
team pick.
Going for some very cool stuff. They were denied the Slark, but they pick up a Beastmaster, which I think he will be doing a little bit better. The question is, how will they lane this? My best guess will be Nyx Assassin, Crystal Maiden roaming around, Beastmaster, Tiny Wuss, safe lane. Actually, that's it. Nyx Assassin mid, tri-lane on top of Crystal Maiden and Tiny, and
10 seconds
Wisp.
remaining.
They'll all be doing their, IO, I thought. Yeah, IO.
5 seconds
All hanging on top while Crystal Maiden and IO are group jungle farming, doing that thing, and Beastmaster will be in the off lane.
Time.
That is my best guess. But Beastmaster versus a Prophet trying to TP out, very nice. He has the Whirling Axes as well, or Wild Axes, which helps kills the trees. Really cool stuff. And also Beastmaster versus Bristleback. I think Bristle feels all the damage coming up from the axes. Not too terribly sure, but we'll see that very soon. TA gonna be the last pickup on Rox.Kis, and as far as how late can each team go, I think Sigma do win out in this fight if we're talking about going ultra late game. They have the Tiny, they also have the Beastmaster with a very important AoE ult. But you also have to consider the fact that Rox.Kis, they do still have the Bristleback, who I think can go late. Maybe not as hard as other people can, but he can still kind of go late. Prophet, of course, he can always go late. TA, if she snowballs earlier, she can go late as well with her crazy damage output. Just like 2-shot somebody. So while I take a brief moment to catch my breath and take a sip of water, I'll let you guys enjoy the view of a Templar Assassin Even better, a Jodo. Let's see. Alright, break time's over. Let's go and get these introductions done before anything too crazy happens. Starting off on this Visage, on the side of Rox.Kis, we see Yol on him. Moving on to his Bristleback, we see BZZ. Perfect. That's how you pronounce it. Sorry for that explosion of words, but Bizzle Perfect, as we see typed here, but it's actually BZZ, which I've heard the name before, but I still don't know who it is, besides this guy. On this Bane, we see Black hanging out on him. Down on mid, we see Scandal on this Templar Assassin. And last but not least, of course, the one, the only, Seedoy on the Nature's Prophet. Moving to the side of Sigma on this Wisp, who's already up to some shenanigans. We see Pass on her. She does throw out the nice little tether so she doesn't die. She was going to get nightmared up. It'll likely have been a slow coming up from Visage very soon, but yeah, good play coming up from them. Besides doing some de-warding already, like a baller. I think he has to hurry up. I don't know how much vision it's giving him. There you go. Give him just enough vision. Because Sentry Wars nowadays, they don't give you permanent vision around them, but they give you temporary vision. That's it. They have Observer on the other side, so they can see anyway. But they give you like brief vision around them. It's weird. I mean, it's really negligible because it goes away too fast. Anyway.
Denied.
Oh right. I was introduced to Sigma. Right. On this on this Tiny, we see Paris, which we have seen play Mirana quite a few times already. So obviously akin to playing that #1 role. Moving on to his Crystal Maiden, we see Young Man doing some jungle Crystal Maiden shenanigans, having a lot of fun. That creep is stunned up for a whole entire 9 seconds or something like that, eating a whole bunch of damage. Down mid, we see Fada on that Beastmaster, so no crazy offlane ancient stacking Beastmaster. And last but not least, on this Nyx Assassin for Sigma, we see Miguel playing that all-important role of, can you get enough farm to go and kill stuff? It's actually taking quite a bit of a right-click from these treants and also Prophet. A lot of regen burn through already. Well, 2 things of regen burn through already. Eating another tango just to come back in and get some right clicks. Prophet having a ball. Seedoy gonna just, use like a shooting gallery. Gets his mana burned. Most frustrating thing in the world. Nyx Assassin and Prophet gonna just casually trade resources back and forth. Nyx Assassin losing a lot of HP, Prophet losing a lot of mana resources. And meanwhile, speaking of resources, we got Tiny in a little bit of trouble. Does take a little bit of damage coming from Bristleback, not enough to actually claim a kill. And Bristle did go for the snot, because negative armor on Tiny is very deadly level 1. As you guys see right there, level 1, 0 armor on Tiny. He's pretty much dead. I mean, just 2 snots is all Bristle really needs to help them get a kill. Anyway, so the kill's gonna be happening here very soon. No, Black actually gets stunned up by the Crystal Maiden. The Nightmare does fall on top of Pass, who does not have anything to actually tether to, so he's actually gonna be taking a little bit of damage. Does finally go down. Tiny does get a nice little influence on top of everybody, but not enough to actually kill. Beautiful toss coming up from him on top of Bane. Bane gonna try to make it else on the line. Will he be able to make it? Is a big question. It looks like Pear's gonna come around the front side. Might be able to catch a kill on top of that. Tiny and Wuss are rotating around the corner. They will not be able to move fast enough. Black will be able to survive, and luckily there's no Invoker. Because if there was, guys, I think that might be a dead Bane. Meanwhile, down bottom we got Nyx Assassin, or just being all up on Nature's Prophet. It's actually taking a substantial amount of damage. Up top, these guys are just hanging out here. I mean, really, both sides are just trying to be as aggressive as they possibly can without risking too much. First Blood obviously went towards Rox.Kis because they were able to get the kill on top of that Wisp before she tethered away. Or actually, paused on that Wisp, tethered, and then got caught out. Which is the way you want to do it, because otherwise Wisp will just get hit with a Nightmare, and then she'll tether away afterwards. And speaking of Nightmares, Bane versus Tiny, close encounters. Very scary thing, guys. It's a very scary thing both ways, because Tiny can do enough burst damage early on to just kill Bristleback before he's actually able to do much. But even, I mean, with that said, it's still pretty touchy, because Bristleback can just pop quills whenever Tiny goes in for last hit, which is very, very annoying. Speaking of annoying, we got Miguel on that Nyx Assassin, going to be as annoying as possible, pulling the creeps towards him, going to run away with him. Prophet does have a Sprout, but he has no mana to use it. He has a TP though, so he can use that if he wanted to. And now we got Nature's Prophet versus some creeps behind his own tower. Nyx Assassin going to casually take these 3 creeps and claim them for his own, so Miguel did a good job of that. Make sure he survived that pull that he did. Meanwhile, mid, Fada versus Scandal. Scandal so far is behind the Beastmaster. Beastmaster doing an extremely good job with those rolling axes, forcing TA to stand back a little bit, and also getting his last hits where he needs to get them in. And he already has 2 points out of those. Going to be going for a Call of the Wild type build as opposed to an Inner Beast build. Which, I mean, for all those who don't know, Call of the Wild build might mean that he's going to be having a Necro bouquet very soon. Which I won't be surprised seeing that from Fada. He does, like I said, he plays an Invoker. He likes to play heroes who have units that they control. By the looks of it, just my pure assessment. I don't know his actual play history, but just my pure assessment of how he plays. He likes to have those units he likes to play with those heroes who have extra units to control. So he's really good at his control. And the way he plays his Invoker, he pretty much plays Invoker, gets the Force Spirits, and also uses the Necro units. He gets a Necro book on Invoker. Has fun with that. So Beastmaster would be a nice little consolation for him as well. He can do the same exact thing with that, and I think it's a little bit more effective on the Beastmaster. The only difference is that Invoker does have a Cold Snap, which is another utility ability that he can drop on top of himself to help him go for that. Smoking coming down bottom on Crystal Maiden. We might see a dive here very soon from Miguel. He's actually going to throw in a nice little mana burn. Make sure Cito has no mana. He's in a lot of trouble. The creeps are going to be coming forward. Crystal Maiden throws out the Nova. Profits in all kinds of trouble. No TP support to speak of. He's actually going to be going down. Easy kill is easy. Nice engagement from them. Nick Assassin being as obnoxious as possible. Miguel all up in Profit's grill, having all kinds of fun. Saying, hey bro, you want burgers? Because I just put hot dogs on and that'll be about 30 minutes. Yeah, it sounded wrong. I agree. I agree, guys.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bane looking for a Nightmare to set up a kill on top of Tiny. Paris will be able to make us on alive. He did back away. Prophet TP's in, kills some trees, and pushes the creep wave back. Solid Nick Assassin's doing his little pull thing again, because he's being, as obnoxious as possible. Meanwhile, Young Mad on that Crystal Maiden doing an excellent job of roaming around and ganking, and also collecting levels. She's already level 4. All she's been doing is jungle farming. She was a little bit involved in that kill that happened, or in the, fight that happened up top where they did lose a person, so she did collect a few last hits from the creeps in lane. But all in all, doing a good job of rotating around. And we might be seeing a gank attempt on top of this TA. Who's actually going to be going for a phase boot, so she'll have those phase boots. I don't know if she's going to be going for drums off the top of this. Maybe she might go for Wraithbane. Bring up Aquila. No. Nice little supports, farming up these neutral, so Bristle can get as much farm as possible, and BCZ having a much better game than he had last time. Smoking Seas actually used the supports are roaming in. Nick Assassin has his level 6, going to go ahead and pop that Vendetta, go for a kill on top of Bane likely. Bane's the easiest person to go for. They're going to go for the damage. The aggression does come out from CC and Paris, and they're doing a whole bunch of damage, a lot of kills going towards this. Actually, no, Crystal Maiden gets blown up. Beastmaster force pops ulti, Prophet TP's in as well, gets a kill on top of Woods. Beautiful support coming in from the Radiant, and they are able to keep the Bristle alive. They're going to lose, Sigma are going to lose their Tiny, they're also going to lose their Crystal Maiden. Lost essentially everybody. Fada's next. He's on the menu. Everybody's dead on Sigma, and guys, that is what we call a bad turn of events. 33 extra gold going to Scandal, just to add insult to injuries. Fada, or that's Fada. Scandal said, Fada, you got this little beast thing over here. I'm gonna make a pelt of it. So guys, that shows you the power. That shows you the danger sometimes of going against a team that has a Prophet, because really, to me, that Prophet made the biggest difference in the world. Beastmaster and crew, they all rotated up top to go for the kill on top of that Bristleback / Bane plus Visage tri-lane, which would have been great if they were able to get that kill and nobody responded, but Prophet just casually TP's in, full mana, full HP by the looks of it, and just got himself an easy kill on top of one person. Bristleback has that Bristleback 1 point inside of it, kept him alive. I think that was more than enough. Oh, sorry, that was it was obviously just enough to keep him alive. He had, like, I want to say 10, maybe 20 HP left. And he also had the Ring of Pelts, which was definitely helping him out as well, regening up HP as he's blocking things. And now he has a Vanguard. So we got the Greater Hawk for Beastmaster going to be casually flying itself on through. Just chilling out, scouting, seeing what's going on around this back lane. Also trying to find the courier. The only thing is they have to have the Nyx Assassin in place to go for a courier kill. And I don't think the courier will be going to the secret shop anytime soon. Especially not when these guys are just that close by it. Maybe TA will pick up something from the secret shop, but really wish he pick up an Aghanim Scepter. Please. So the items so far on the map, we see Bristle with his Vanguard. He's really happy. He's really, I guess, farmed relative to his lane. He has 35 last hits, so he's doing an excellent job, actually, versus a farm of Tiny. So this tiny Wisp is not really the worst thing in the world. I'm not saying it's concerning, heavily concerning, but it's really, really not. Hold on, it's really not working out too bad. We got TP coming off from Crystal Maiden. She's gonna be able to make us alive, but Nick Sessa does go down. So Crystal Maiden able to make it out alive in all of that craziness. And I didn't see the rotation come from Nick Assassin, but he did go down. But not before he claimed his target. And if only Nick Assassin was a bounty hunter, then it might be worth it. But really, really it's not. We got Bristleback doing a nice little cool spray, pulling his creeps on back to him, getting those stacks started up. Doesn't have a whole bunch of regions, so it needs to be careful about how he spends his mana, especially with the tiny Wisp walking on the backside.
Radiant's middle tower
Rox.Kis are doing an excellent job of making sure Wisp doesn't get her level 6. I think Wisp should be just walking around with Crystal Maiden to get some levels in the jungle, just some group farm with like that. Kind of the same way where Visage and Bane were doing a few moments ago. And actually Visage and probably Bane are a lot, yeah, they're higher level than Wisp. Which really sucks because once Pass on that Wisp gets that level 6, Tiny and Wisp can start being as aggressive as they want to be. But until that point, they have to just chill and let Nick Assassin do his work to keep the pressure on all the lanes. And really, the only pressure he's been able to keep was the pressure on Prophet, and Prophet doesn't care. Okay, he cares, but he doesn't care that much. Rotation comes on top from Bane. The Hawk does move, trying to get some more vision. It will be going down here in a whole entire 6 seconds time. Just going to see if he can scout out everything. Sees everybody who's up here, backs away. Tiny and Wisp will be casually farming up these creeps. And Wisp is finally level 5. But we got a rotation coming in forward from Godblack.
He's not on top of
Not going to be able to find anything, but we got a lot of people down here, a lot of people up here on Rox.Kis. They're ready to take this top tower. They should be losing their bottom tower. By the looks of it, especially if you see 5 people on top, or just people missing plus people on the other side. Young Matt, unlike Crystal Maiden, she did smoke up to go down here for a kill. Beastmaster as well. So these guys are looking for a kill on top of Prophet. Try to see if they can find him in the jungle. He's not here. He's up top. A lot of damage coming towards Prophet, or coming from Prophet on top of everything. Damage going right back.
Radiant's bottom tower has a nasty
getting
situation.
Nice little charge on top of him.
Dire's top tower
Plus 2
was
stats.
utterly destroyed.
See, is it plus? No, armor increased by 2.
Radiant's
Also plus 2
bottom
stats.
tower has uninvited guests. Radiant has reinforced their structures.
Okay. It's only
Radiant's
armor.
bottom tower has
See, I was
fallen.
always under the impression that once you pop that buckler, it gave you plus 2 stats. Plus 2 to all your stats, but it gives you plus 2 armor. Okay. Good to know. Fight happening in mid.
Is not safe.
Sorry, not fight happening mid. Tower's going down mid. We got TP coming in from Bristleback. He should be more than enough to defend this. But they did get 2 towers. They got a tier 1 and tier 2 for all their troubles. Sprout comes out from Prophet on top of Tiny, and Tiny will be able to continue to run away. Paz is not level 6 just yet, but if he was, he just might be able to get something. And speaking of something, Tiny does walk back into his jungle, just casually skirts on by everybody on the side of the Radiant.
Radiant's bottom tower
If they were to stay there, like, maybe just like a few seconds longer, they could have potentially got some big kills. Some big kills on top of Tiny and Wisp, and that would have been huge. Sigma would have been hindered or hampered
Radiant's
heavily.
bottom tower has uninvited guests.
Beastmaster ulti up. Tiny finally has a point inside his ulti. Cancel TP mid. Young Matt on that Crystal Maiden going to casually run on back. And we got Miguel on that. Nick Assassin catches up a creep. And that's really about it. Bristleback plus crew are ready to push in. Bristle has his Vanguard in hand, has his mana boots, or sorry, has his power chest turned to mana, ready to go for it. Ready to go for the kill. The Fortify is down for the Dire, so they really need to defend. If they want to defend, they need to hurry to do something. Bristleback getting stunned up. A lot of damage coming towards Miguel. Miguel eating a whole bunch of damage. Beautiful stun coming out from Beastmaster, catching a few people. But Nick's probably ulti bouncing around. Bane does go down at the end of the day. Nick Assassin died as well. Chris Maiden trying to pop her ult to get a little bit. Nick Assassin TP's in, invisible, or sorry, with the smoke in the sea. And we got Bristleback, Blue's perfect. Did dodge himself a nice little impale. He should be able to make something alive as well. And wow, all in all, 2 people going down outside of Sigma, 1 person forced to buy back to try to defend their tower, and still Sigma lost their tower mid, so far Rox.Kis are in a very, very, very commanding position. And guys, if things keep going the way they're going, of course, it's always hard to call this in Dota, especially professional Dota, but it just might, this series just might go to a game 5, which would be excellent, because that means I'll have 3 games to post. Just saying. But of course, we can't call it just yet because Sigma, they've proven time and time again that they can't do the strat. And there's still a tiny Wisp on the side of Sigma. You absolutely cannot count them out. If we can ever get Wisp to level 6, actually, okay, Wisp is level 6. She did actually relocate. And I'm not sure where they relocated to. I'm not sure if they got killed, but Tiny was, once they get to the point where Tiny has enough farm to actually get an Ag Interceptor, he actually has, Paris has a hand of Midas now, so farm will be slowly but surely creeping on in, getting all that reliable gold like a baller. Once they do get their big heavy farm, they can just relocate and go for a backdoor and possibly kill a tower. And if Prophet does TP in to defend that, he will not be enough. All he could really do is, throw out a Sprout, maybe on Tiny, and Wuss will probably tether to Tiny and kill the trees. But relocate about to happen. The relocate will be happening to the middle of the pit. The arguing coming in. The fight's gonna be happening. We got Sigma. Oh, sorry. We got Miguel on that Bane taking a whole bunch of damage. Aegis does go down. Wuss does steal the Aegis before everything happens. But it looks like Paris taking a whole bunch of damage. Paris does go down. A lot of damage going towards Sigma. They're not gonna be able to survive. Spada already dropped his ulti. He's in a lot of trouble. They're not even gonna worry about him. They're gonna go for the kill on the backside. Looking for Young Mad. Does not find him. Meanwhile, TP does come out from Beastmaster. We see a TA right click flying on through. And while we watch that happen, we see a runaway coming up from Young Mad, who has no farm at all, has himself a 15 charge magic wand, needs to go ahead and save that, pops it anyway, takes a whole bunch of damage, goes down. Sigma got turned on. They took the Aegis, they prevented the Aegis, but they did not prevent all the deaths.
Dyer's middle tower is in the wrong end of business.
And I do agree, Dyer's middle tower is in fact on the wrong end of business. We got a Yasha coming up on TA. Soon to, it's really, really, really bad right now for Sigma. And the main reason was because there's a TA on the side of Rox.Kis. And as we all know, TA is really good at snowballing. Once you get the ball rolling, once you get a little bit of damage, you can just start killing everybody all the time. And I really do think in this game we need to see Scandal with the Blink Dagger. Because otherwise she's not going to be able to get the little cute engagements that she wants. And Paris and Wuss are actually going to walk right in, trying to go for some kills, trying to go for some damage. We see TP's coming through. Young Man on the Crystal Maiden will be going down, will be the first death. And now we got Visage actually getting chased by the Nyx Assassin. Miguel will be going down here very soon, does die. And guys, I don't know if things, like I said, things keep going the way they're going. It's not going to be, this game's not going to last long enough for Tiny to get in nags. 15-4 is what we have right now. Paris and Paz really have to do some amazing things to find the farm that they need to keep their base from dying, or sorry, to keep the game from ending too soon. But you have a Prophet who's pressuring your towers. You have a Blissabek who's freaking obnoxious as crap. Working on the AC next. TA will be benefiting from that heavily. She's actually going for a Sanji and Yasha, or maybe she's just going for Yasha and then the BKB, which I would like a little bit better. Because if TA can get rid of all the stun coming up from Tiny and also Nyx Assassin, maybe Crystal Maiden and Frostbites as well, if she could just walk in and casually do anything, and Beastmaster would be forced to use his ulti almost always exclusively on TA, otherwise she's going to just destroy everything that her team has. Or that their team has. And Bane ulti actually falls on top of Fada. Fada does get stunned up by the Tiny, so Tiny did come in time. Beastmaster ulti flies, lands on top of Bristleback. Or Crystal Maiden ulti going on the backside. She gets nightmared. The fight's going to continue to happen on the backside. Nobody did just yet, but a lot of damage traded back and forth. And I think at the end of the day, Sigma do have the higher ground advantage. They're actually going to go in. We got Crystal Maiden getting wiped off the map. And now the advantage, of course, going back towards Rox.Kis. They're reaching up heavily right now. We got the Central again placed down. They do see the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin going to get caught off, sprouted up, gets nightmared, takes a little bit of damage. We got a relocate coming in from Tiny Wuss. They're trying to do as much damage as possible, but Nyx Assassin, of course, got scattered out, does his damage anyway. Yo, on that Visage, trying to see if he can get anything, gets healed up, going to be going back in for the fight. And Paris on that Tiny lost his Wuss, but I think these guys are snowballed up way too much. There's a Prophet on the side. GGs do get caught out, like I said, and guys, Sigma are losing their hold on this. Rox.Kis do fight their way back into the series. This game is now, honestly, the last, oh sorry, the second, next to last game. Sorry, I said that wrong. What I was trying to say was that this series would go down to one last game to determine who's the winner. And so far, Sigma have refused to lose just yet. I think it got canceled a little bit. I think it got canceled somewhere. But maybe we'll see Tiny. Maybe we'll see Paris on that Tiny. Just try to 5-man Dota it. But it looks like the GG got canceled. And everybody DC'd on Sigma. They're gonna go ahead and ready up for the next lobby. Just waiting for these guys to go ahead and fully leave. The DCs do start happening from the casters.
Middle tower is under fire.
And we got Rox.Kis. They're just casually waiting in. They're going to collect some runes. Going to collect some kills. Then the DCs are starting to come through from this side.
Tower is in the wrong
there we go. We got Tiny finally fully DCing. Holy Master, he is the main admin. Shout out to you, and also Vitrusa or Varusta. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But I think they're the main admins for Join Dota that are, you know, putting on this tournament, allowing us outside people to cast for them. It's freaking awesome stuff. But the Ancient will be exploding here very soon. And yes, TA was in fact going for a Yasha into BKB.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And Bristleback, of course, going for a AC. And Bane. Don't know what much to say.
Dire's middle tower is under fire.
He's going to continue to push. Prophet wants to get more
Dire's
towers. Wants to
bottom
patch those
tower is
stats.
in turmoil.
Necrobook already purchased up by Cedo.
Dire's middle tower is in the wrong end of business. Dire's bottom tower is on its way further down. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under fire.
Just casually watching this tower killing simulator go
Dire's
through.
bottom tower lies in ruins.
And once the
Dire's
tower killing
ancient
simulator
needs
is done,
defensive action.
actually, Bristle's going to go into the base. He's going to collect a few things, pull these guys out, get a few more stats.
Dire's ancient is under attack.
Monster kill! Godlike! Triple kill!
Yep, triple kill for Bristle. That's what he gets for his troubles.
Dire's bottom tower is on its way further down.
And it should be down here very
Dire's
soon.
bottom tower is in turmoil.
BKB getting popped by Scandal and TA, and there we go. The Ancient explodes. The throne is gone. Geometry Sight picks up other side. Late game item. Alright, sorry, that's it. Right, this is my part. Sorry, I became a spectator. Stop being a caster. So anyway, my name is CulBlu. I just brought you guys this game. This is game number 4 in the Pro AM Cup. Oh, sorry, yeah, Pinnacle Sports Pro AM Cup Finals. This has been Sigma versus Rox.Kis. This is game number 4 out of 5. This game will be going. The series will be going down to the last game to see who claims the victory. Will Rox.Kis be able to pull off the straight up 3-0 win? Or sorry, will Rox.Kis be able to win 3 straight in a row, or will they lose on their last game to Sigma, and will Sigma finally be able to clean that last one? We'll see all that next in the next game. But for now, guys, my name is CulBlu. I just brought you guys this cast, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys whenever.